Cornelia June Rogers Miller died in February. Now, nearly 4 months later, recently, there was an obit posted in the newspaper in Murphy, North Carolina. She lived part of the time in Florida and then had a summer home in Murphy, North Carolina. The obit writes, Cornelia June Rogers Miller died alone after a long battle with drug addiction and depression. We are thankful for the life that was issued forth because of June by virtue of her daughters and granddaughters. We wish she could have appreciated the abundance of life she was given. But drugs were a major love in her life. June had no hobbies, made no contribution to society, and rarely shared a kind word or deed in her life. Please let June Miller's life be a cautionary tale. Addiction and hatred are no es bueno for the living. I'm serious. That's what it says. We speak for the majority of her family when we say her presence will not be missed. By many and very few tears will be shed. There will be no lamenting over her passing. There will be no service, no prayers, and no closure for the family she spent a lifetime tearing apart. We cannot come together in the end to see it to it that her grandchildren and great-grandchildren can say their goodbyes. Her legacy has already been written. I mean, what? The end, by the way. What obit says addiction and hatred are no es bueno for the living?
Well,
Cutting right to the punch.
had Sean died shortly after his surprise party when the wounds were still fresh, his family might have written something similar to that.
We're just throwing Spanglish in the middle of an obituary. No es bueno for the living. And that sounds like a T-shirt that I would buy online, like a graphic tee. No es bueno for the living.
The question is, where there's smoke, there's fire here, you know, right?
In terms of what?
Did somebody from the family really write this?
I think so. Now, nobody knows who wrote this, so they're trying to investigate it. Some have said this could have been one of her sisters that hated her. But one of her sisters said, it wasn't me. And then one of them can't be tracked down yet. I mean, this is a sister that hated her sister and just went full-on heel, wrestling heel, with the obit. And frankly, I find it to be a power move. I think it's just...
Well, she can't answer back.
You got to respect it. I mean, you got to respect...
Especially the Spanglish. You respect that.
I don't know if the right thing to do is to berate the dead. I don't think that that's probably the proper thing to do, but it's a power move. It's a rare move.
Sounds like she deserves it, too.
Yeah, I mean, if she tore the family apart via hatred and addiction to drugs, you know, that's one last shot and let the world know. I mean, you know what? I kind of respect it. It's a power move.
So you're pro-bad obit tearing up the dead. Just to clarify.
I think because it's done so rarely, and this one feels like it really came from the heart.
So if this became like a common trend, it would get sickening, right?
No, I wouldn't like it.
Okay. So as long as you're original about it.
Yeah.
So we don't want any doppelgangers, any copycats.
Nah.
So you've gone from hating dogs and babies to loving dogs to now loving bashing dead people?
Well, when you put it that way.
It's been a roller coaster 2 weeks for DA.
Ethically, I'm all over the place.